Hello everyone, Eric C. Jackson here again. I just want to share a tip with you if you're interested in macro photography. Now, normally my approach to macro photography is, of course, you have a DSLR camera. I buy a macro lens, and there you go. That's the basic foundation of it. However, what I have, I have a Canon 5D Mark II, and I have the standard 24 to 105 millimeter lens. And of course, I cannot shoot macro with this lens. Um, I guess the closest I can get to an object is maybe within a foot, maybe a foot and a half, maybe. And so I really can't get close enough to any particular object with this particular lens and capture macro shots. And so I was looking on YouTube, of course, at what other professional photographers use, and I came across someone who uses extension tubes on their lens. And that's something that I've never heard of before, but I went ahead and gave it a try because if I would go out and buy a Canon brand macro lens, let's say like 100 millimeter macro lens from Canon, it's about $1,200 to $1,300. So instead, what I purchased are extension tubes, and as you can see, it's metal. It's completely hollow, and yeah, you attach it to your camera. Same thing, the back comes off, you just attach it there, and it has the same connectors in the back that connect to your DSLR camera. So what that does is it takes the glass that's in your lens and it moves it further away from your camera sensor that's in the camera body, right? And so what that does is it gives you the ability to shoot closer to an object, and to the point where now I can shoot macro just fine. And so the main thing that you have to do, these can come apart, right? They can definitely come apart. So I just have to twist it. See, it comes apart, right? So you can use them all together, or there's actually 3 of these. So this is 2 connected, and then this is the 3rd one. They're all different sizes. This is a 13 millimeter extension tube. The one here is 21 millimeters. Then the wide one, this one is, let's see, 31 millimeters there. But yeah, what I do when I really want to get close to an object is I go ahead and I connect them all together. So I just have, instead of 3 separate tubes, I've got one as a whole, right? And so the other thing I have to do is you have to take off your lens. Okay, so there's your lens. See, the connector is basically the same on the back. So that's basically where these go. You just line them up and you connect it together. So make sure I have to put this on here correct. And so you just snap it on, and there you go. It's on there, right? So, and then I did get the metal. Some of these extension tubes are plastic, which I didn't want to go with. And I did get the extension tubes that help with your autofocus, but even still, the autofocus on the extension tubes doesn't work very well. And so you're going to be you're gonna use manual focus, your manual focus here. That's what you're gonna focus with, because your automatic focus AF points are not gonna be very good. So that is one of the trade-offs. And then, of course, camera body, you have the extension tubes there, and you go ahead and you connect those together, and it locks. Now, first thing you'll notice is now you have a lot of weight on the camera, like you've added extra weight. It is the weight is not balanced. It's very front heavy, right? Because these extension tubes are hollow, okay? And so you've got the weight of the camera body, and then you got a whole bunch of weight up here with your glass, with the your actual lens. And so then if you decide you want to zoom in, or you go from 24 to 105, that's really what you're going to shoot. Because if you have all three tubes on here, you're going to have to move your lens from to the 105 millimeter range in order for this to work. So basically when I'm shooting something macro, this is what my camera looks like. And so it's very heavy. It's really heavy, and I had to get used to holding my camera steady, because I don't use a tripod myself. I mean, I should and I can, and it works, of course, on the tripod, but in terms of trying out different compositions, making subtle movements, I'd rather not have it on a tripod, because it just helps me get, change my composition a lot faster on every shot. And so, but yeah, this is the trade-off, right? Now, these extension tubes are like $7 a piece. No kidding. They're, so I bought these set of 3 for maybe $30 to $33. They came together, and yeah, they work great. I mean, the macro photography that I'm doing now for my florals, the flowers, are coming out very well. I have seen some videos where you get I don't want to say like particles or something, like you have to zoom in really well in order to have some quality fall off. But it's to the point where I can't tell, when I'm actually printing out my work. And so I just continue to use it. But yeah, let's see. I ended up getting, that's them. I ended up getting this one. And yeah, like I said, it's less than $35 compared to the $1,300 that I would have to spend at B&H to get a Canon macro lens. And so again, the other thing that you can do is you don't have to use all 3 at the same time. It does take me a little while to figure out where my actual camera lens needs to be as far as the zoom. And so pick a subject and just test it out and see what you get, and play around with these 3 tubes, how many of them you want to use. That's it. The other drawback is that when you actually want to take a normal photograph, you have to take the extension tubes off. And I'm still testing that out, but as far as what I've done so far, you definitely got to take them back off of here and just use your normal lens to go back to, the 24 by 105 shots. So yeah, that's it. I don't have any examples on here, but I might attach some to this video to just show you guys exactly the type of shots that I can get with this particular setup. And like I said, this is an older Mark 5D model. This is the Mark II, and I think we're on Mark IV right now. So I don't have as many AF points in the lens, but still, it's a good camera, it's a good body, it's a good lens. And so having these extension tubes giving me the ability to take macro shots is a huge bonus for me, because now the only thing that I'm missing is probably like a 300 millimeter lens to take stuff at a much farther distance. But other than that, everything from 105 millimeters to a macro shot like point blank range, I can capture everything. Now, I will say that when I'm taking my macros with this, let's say that this is my thumb is my subject, my lens is literally here. And so a lot of times the lens hood casts a shadow on the subject. And so I would have to take the lens hood off and again, take the picture like that. Like that's how close as I can get. Now, if I take the extension tubes off, I can probably shoot maybe that close, but it's not that close at all, right? And so that's the only, that's as far as the camera will let me, capture the photo. So it's not really macro at all. It's close, but not macro. And so when I put the extension tubes on, I can get right up on the subject and capture it. So it's absolutely beautiful. I really do love it. I will say again about the weight, once I'm done with the photography session, just shooting here, I'm tired because this thing gets gets heavy. It's got a lot of weight to it. And so, yeah, it's just something that you get used to, continue to exercise, and just balance. Because a lot of times holding the camera, trying to find a just a good position to get your balance, and also hold the camera steady so that you don't have that blur in your shots. That's the biggest thing that I had to learn how to hold the camera again. And a lot of times I hold my breath, and then I kind of hold the camera as steady as I can, capture it, right? And I do a few clicks like that. Now, in the meantime, I'm also moving my focus. You move the focus ever so slightly when you're doing the macro, because you can go within an inch. You can go from like 4 or 5 different shots between that, like holding the camera, not moving it, but just slightly moving your focus. And with the macro, the focus changes so fast that you don't have to move this a lot. You just move it a little bit, and it's like a drastic shift with the focus. And so I did a lot of practicing with that. And again, it's holding it, it's moving the focus, it's kind of not breathing too hard, all that type of thing. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of practice. It took, I don't know, a few sessions for me to get it down, but continue to practice and then you'll get used to it. But yeah, and hopefully I'm gonna start another macro series soon, and so I would like to share that with you guys. But like I said, I think that I can get some photos and attach it to this video so that you guys can see exactly what I captured with this, and then you can make your own judgment calls on whether you want to continue to save for the actual Canon macro lens, or if you want to test out the extension tubes on your camera. Yeah, so that's all I have. Thank you guys for stopping in the studio, and take care.